4. This is part 3 of our series. I'm Tony T here with our college football pick show here for Wednesday. Well, we have 10 games from week 4. There'll be Saturday games. Now, there are 61 games this week, and we're going to do them in 6 parts. So we got 21 done after this show. We'll have 31 of the 60 done, and we'll get the next rest done next couple of days as we do this in parts. Just we want to get them all in, and that's how we're going to do it. Get them done a little earlier. So before we get started, just a couple of things. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Free college football picks are updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports. We also have NFL. We also have MLB. We'll have hockey soon and NBA soon, as these seasons will start shortly. So a good time to subscribe. And also, if you would, support our channel, hit the like button. Thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Remember, visit Tony'sPicks.com, our multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the links to our hot cappers. Guys like, Paul's been hot. We had Collins over the strong day yesterday. Mindy has been on fire. Tiffany's been hot. Let's just take a look at the NFL cappers. Ramon is our top unit producer in the NFL. Ben number 2. So click the links and get signed up to a long-term pass right now. You'll find our premium picks at the top of the page. Drop-down menu is where we have our free picks. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see our latest premium picks. These are the featured picks our cappers have for sale. As well, you can also click the best bet feature. Each capper can designate one premium pick per sport per day as a best bet, and you'll see that there. It really has to stand out on their card. You'll see that many of them do up there. Some of them have more than one because they're handicapping more than one sport. So that's how the best bet works right there. Also, we have a $15 premium pick. Each capper can designate one of their premium picks per day as a $15 pick, just to showcase their service. As you can see here, many of them have opted to do that with a best bet because they want to basically showcase their best picks for you and introduce you to their service. So that's how that works right there. Also, we have a promo code. You can save 20% off all premium pick packages when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Access our page by clicking the link in the description, the All Cappers tab, then get signed up. Also, love to hear from you guys, so post your picks in the comments. And for you live, I may hang out a little bit later there with you guys, get some of your comments there later on and respond after I do my show. And also, we are looking for cappers. Apply over at Tony'sPicks.com footer section. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get this one started. Toledo versus San Diego State college football pick. This one here goes off on Saturday. Now, Toledo, they fall to 1-2. After that 77-21 road defeat at Ohio State. Boy, there's just too much speed on that Buckeyes team for them. Rockets defense got crushed for 863 yards. Rockets did open at home against really weak competition, beating UMass by 45 and FCS LIU by 37. So the Rockets quarterback DeQuan Finn has not really been accurate in his FBS games, completing just 46% against UMass, 52 against Ohio State. He had only 68.8 yards per pass attempt in that game against the Minutemen. San Diego State, they fall to 1-2 after their 35-7 road defeat at Utah. Aztecs' offense against FBS opponents have been lacking. They gained only 173 yards on Utah, 232 at home to Arizona, all resulting in losses. Braxton Burmeister left the loss at Utah with an eye injury after 4 pass attempts, and 2 backups were unimpressive. But Burmeister practiced, expected to play here. Aztecs have defended the run well this season, holding teams to just 3.8 yards per attempt. Prefer the Aztecs quarterback and defense in this one. The play here, San Diego State plus 2.5. Middle Tennessee State versus Miami. College football pick here for Saturday. Middle Tennessee State improved to 2-1 with their 49-6 home win to FCS Tennessee State behind 442 yards. Red Raiders quarterback Chase Cunningham has shown improvement since the loss at James Madison. He's completing 72% of his passes for 6.3 yards per pass attempt. Middle Tennessee State ground attack isn't showing much with 3.2 yards per attempt. Defensively, they've defended well, holding opponents to 2.8 yards per rush. Starting as a freshman, Cunningham showed improvement last year in his junior campaign. Miami falls to 2-1 after their 17-9 road defeat at Texas A&M. Hurricanes couldn't get enough from their passing game as quarterback Tyler Van Dyke went 21 of 41, averaging just 5.3 yards per pass attempt. The team settled for 5 field goal attempts, making 3. Miami defense limited the Aggies to only 265 yards. Blue Raiders have shown enough improvement offensively to back them here. They have averaged 4 sacks a game on defense. To play here, Middle Tennessee State here at plus the 25.5. North Texas versus Memphis, college football pick for Saturday. North Texas fell to 1-1 after their 58-27 road defeat at UNLV. Mean Green was competitive in the first half, but get outscored 35-7 in the second. They did move the football for 475 yards, but allowed 576 yards to the Rebels with 365 rushing on 51 carries. Quarterback Austin On threw for 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 10.5 yards per pass attempt. On the season, Ani completing 54% of his passes with 8.8 yards per pass attempt. Memphis 2-1 following their 44-32 home win to Arkansas State. Back-to-back games for the Tigers and wins and gaining over 500 yards as well. Seth Hennigan, really big game, hitting on 19 of 28, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, 13 yards per pass attempt. Mean Green run defense has struggled, giving up 5.2 yards per attempt. North Texas running 502 yards per game defensively. Both pass defenses giving up tons of yardage. The play here, North Texas and Memphis over 68.5. Tulsa versus Mississippi. College football pick here for Saturday. Tulsa 2-1 with their 54-17 home win to FCS Jacksonville State behind 611 yards. They do have a home win to Northern Illinois. When the Golden Hurricane went on the road, they lose 40-37 at a rebuilding Wyoming team in overtime, giving up 399 yards. Golden Hurricane is averaging 527 yards, but against mid-major schools. Davis Brin completing 64% of his passes with 11 touchdowns, a pick, and 10 yards per pass attempt. Ole Miss 3-0 after their 42-0 road win at Georgia Tech. Strong performances by the Rebels, gaining a balanced 547 yards on the Yellow Jackets defense. Jackson Dark 10 of 16 for 207 yards and a pick. He's averaging 9.4 yards per pass attempt and run some this season. The Rebels held the Yellow Jackets to 53 rushing yards on 34 carries. Ole Miss has been running rampant this season. Tulsa limited opponents to 3.9 yards per rush attempt. Dart has not really been a high-volume passer this season. Golden Hurricane with an experienced quarterback. We'll take the points here. The play will be Tulsa plus 22. Oregon versus Washington State. College football pick for Saturday. Oregon moves to 2-1 with their 41-20 home win to BYU. Ducks' speed and strength advantage was evident in this win. Ducks held the Cougars to 61 yards on 24 carries on the ground. Oregon balanced with their 439 yards, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry on the ground. Bo Nix, 13 of 18 for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 yards per pass attempt. He did run for 3 touchdowns. Now Washington State, they're 3-0 after their 38-7 home win to Colorado State, a rebuilding team. Another strong defensive performance by the Cougars, allowing just 239 yards, 37 rushing on 31 carries. Incarnate Word transfer quarterback Cameron Ward completing 65% of his passes with 8 touchdowns, 3 picks, 6.9 yards per pass attempt. He doesn't run much. They do have a road win at Wisconsin and hold the Badgers to 14 points. Cougars holding teams to just 2.5 yards a carry on the ground, only 6.6 yards per pass attempt. Ducks defense sharpened the win against BYU. Oregon also defending the run. Now, the Ducks offense looked poor in their lone trip away from home, but that was against a tough Georgia team. But still, we're going to go Oregon and Washington State here under 57.5. Georgia Tech versus UCF college football pick. This one goes off here on Saturday. Georgia Tech fell to 1-2 with their 42-0 home defeat to Ole Miss. Offensive performance is just poor here, only 214 yards. Running for 53, quarterback Jeff Sims averaged 5 yards per pass attempt, and that is a season average, and a season average considerably down from the previous 2 seasons. UCF, they're 2-1 after their 40-14 road win at FAU. Really strong offensive performance, 653 yards. They ran for 314. Quarterback John Plumlee, an Ole Miss transfer, threw for 339 yards, 69% completion rate, 9.4 yards per pass attempt in the win against the Owls. UCF has defended the pass well, but allowing 4.2 yards per rush. When the Golden Knights faced a major conference school, they fell 20-14 to Louisville behind only 339 yards. So the play here will be on Georgia Tech plus 20.5. Arizona versus California college football pick. This one here is on Saturday. Arizona 2-1 after their 31-28 home win to a quality FCS school in North Dakota State. They did move the football for a balanced 413 yards. Wildcats ran for nearly 6 yards a carry in the win, but defensively surrendered 283 yards on 45 carries. Jane DeLaura, accurate, hitting on 20 of 28 for 229 yards and a touchdown. He struggled in the home loss to Mississippi State, throwing with 3 picks, averaging 4.9 yards per attempt. Cal fell to 2-1 after their 24-17 road defeat at Notre Dame behind only 298 yards. In their 2 FBS games, the Golden Bears scored 17 at Notre Dame, 20 at home to UNLV, really leaning on their defense. Cal is holding opponents at 331 yards, 4 yards a carry, and 5.6 yards per pass attempt. Purdue transfer Jack Plummer, accuracy is down from previous 2 seasons, hitting 60% of his passes, 6.6 yards per pass attempt. Wildcats defense has shown improvement over previous seasons. Golden Bears giving up 4 sacks per game. The play here, Arizona, California, under 50.5. Navy versus East Carolina, college football pick for Saturday. Navy 0-2 after their 37-13 home defeat to Memphis. Struggles for the offense this season. Midshipmen gained just 314 yards on the Tigers, 319 to Delaware in their 2 losses. Midshipmen defended Memphis on the ground, but they did give up 415 passing yards on 35 attempts. Quarterback Ty Levante completed only 20 passes, but he's a triple option quarterback. But the problem here is he's only averaging 2 yards a carry on the ground on 36 carries. Offensive line's going to have to do better to create some holes for him. East Carolina 2-1 with their 49-10 home win to FCS Campbell. Of course, their lone loss came by 1 at home to NC State behind kicking issues. They did pile up over 500 yards on Campbell and on Old Dominion. Quarterback Colton Allers is completing 67% of his throws with 7 touchdowns, 2 picks, 8.1 yards per pass attempt. Midshipmen coming off a bye week, so expect some improvement here. Pirates have given up chunks of yards on the ground to Navy the past 6 meetings. Believe it or not, failing to cover each one of those games. The play here will be Navy plus 17. Ball State versus Georgia Southern. College football pick here for Saturday. Ball State 1-2 after their 31-0 home win to FCS Murray State. That's behind 476 yards. They dropped a 7-point home decision to Western Michigan and by 49 to Tennessee. Cardinals quarterback John Paddock, well, he averaged only 4.9 yards per pass attempt against the Racers. He was more efficient against Western Michigan. Now, Georgia Southern 2-1 after their 35-21 road defeat at UAB, following their 3-point win at Nebraska. Eagles struggled in run defense against the Blazers, giving up 288 yards on 43 carries. Rough game for Buffalo transfer quarterback Kyle Van Treese, who threw 3 interceptions and completed 48% in defeat. Eagles giving up 5.9 yards per rush, but running for 6.1 per attempt. Cardinals do get production from the ground game. The play here, Ball State plus 10. Arkansas State and Old Dominion college football pick. This is Saturday. Arkansas State drops to 1-2 after their 44-32 road defeat at Memphis. Red Wolves defense has been torched here, giving up 538 yards to Ohio State, then 547 last week to the Tigers. Arkansas State did move the football for 370 yards passing and for 275. Now, Florida State transfer James Blackman did complete 73% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, 8.1 yards per attempt in that loss to the Tigers. Old Dominion 1-2 after their 16-14 road defeat at Virginia. Offensively, the Monarchs have averaged 292 yards, 18 points a game. Quarterback Hayden Wolf completing just 54% of his passes with 6.7 yards per pass attempt. He gets no real help here from a ground game. He's averaging just 2.7 yards per carry on 25 attempts a game. Third down has been horrific for the Monarchs, just 20% conversions. Red Wolves are moving the football for 406 yards, 4.1 yards a carry, and an experienced quarterback under center. Really can't lay near a touchdown here with Old Dominion. The play here will be Arkansas State here at plus 6. That was our college football show here. Make sure to like and subscribe and set those notifications. More free picks coming up on our live shows today, so make sure you stay tuned and set notifications when you're notified with those lives. I'm Tony T. Back.